Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Adam's TV Podcast. I am your host, Adam Samuel, and we have a bit of an exciting show for you today. Big Brother 20 has just wrapped. We have an evicted house guest. We have a new HOH. We have some rumors of nominees, and we are going to be going over the episode, some of the things that happened on the feeds, the other two episodes, kind of this entire week in general. And joining me today, first is a man who is holding his crystals close tonight. It is Jason. How you doing, Jason?
I have manifested my wig flying, and the universe delivered. My wig has flown. It is truly magical evening this evening.
And also joining us today is a man whose computer may or may not have been infected by a crap app, and that has pulled him away from the podcast. It is Ryan, but he is back. How you doing?
I am great. I am so sorry that I missed the last week. But oh my god.
All right.
H.
I guess we should touch on the first headline. The first headline is Steve is evicted 6-7. Kaitlyn is the swing vote and decides to evict him. And we have our new HOH. The new HOH is Kaitlyn. And this means we're going to be in for an exciting week, right, Jason?
Oh my god. Okay. All right. I just want to let everybody know I have decided to wear black this evening to mourn the loss of the summer of Steve. I would like to have a moment of silence. The moment has passed. I am very sad. But you know what? This week about to be everything. This week is about to blow BB19 out the water.
What do you think about this new HOH, Ryan?
Personally, for the evictee, I'm really happy that I don't have to pay out $100,000, and that went. I said he wouldn't even make a jury. He didn't even make week 2. As for Kaitlyn, there's about to be more crack in that HOH basket than we have ever.
Before we get, before we get into,
that was really funny. Sorry.
Before we get into more about Kaitlyn and her HOH reign, let's talk a little bit about these votes. So it comes down. We get Scotty, Swaggy, Bailey, Fessy, Haley, and Rockstar voting to evict Sam. JC, Rachel, Casey, Angela, Brett, Winston, and Kaitlyn vote to evict Steve, and that is the majority. And these past couple of days, it seemed like a foregone conclusion. Sam was gone. It was a done deal, and all of a sudden things kind of flipped. Ryan, what happened?
So really, Tyler stigmatized the shit out of Kaitlyn over the last 24 hours. She was obviously the thing about Kaitlyn is she craves attention really badly, and Tyler brought her in. He then, after some convincing and telling the Level 6 Alliance about Sam's power, finally locked their support of keeping Sam in. And then the guy just kind of I don't know. They gave Kaitlyn the attention she wanted, and she was like, "Okay, I'll flip."
It's crazy. This week was everything was set in stone. It was he had the votes. Jason, where did you think? Where did Steve go wrong, in your opinion?
Steve's biggest mistake was just assuming that he was gonna stay. It was a foregone conclusion to him. He's like, "There's no way I'm going." And honestly, Rachel put it really well when she said he hadn't even come and spoken to me. He didn't even talk to the other side of the house about, am I good? You're keeping me safe or whatever. And that was his problem. He just assumed that I'm good. But we know it wasn't the case.
I will say, I don't want to give Sam, I love Sam, but I don't want to give her that credit for this. It's not like she was out there working. Mm-hmm. This was all down to Tyler.
All right, that's fair. We're gonna touch on that all a little bit more, but before we get into more of this episode, let's go back to where we were last time we had our podcast. So last time Jason and I spoke, we had our nominees, Sam and Steve. A lot has changed. A lot has happened since then. We get our POV. The POV winner is, as we saw on the Sunday episode. No, it was yesterday's episode. Fessy wins the veto. He chooses not to use it. This competition that they kind of competed in was it was pretty insane. What did you think about the veto competition, Jason? I think Jason's gone. Ryan, what did you think about the veto competition?
What the hell was that? Like, okay, we're used to Big Brother, like, slide down the OTEV ramp, search through the nose that's, like, putting out snot. And this time they're like, you're getting bit by snakes. You're going to get hypothermia. You're going to get electric shocks. Like, what did these people do to Grodner?
Yeah, this was a pretty insane competition. I was watching it and I was just thinking, if I had to compete in this, which would I probably be best at? And I decided that I would probably be best at absolutely none of them. Do you agree, Jason?
Okay. All right. Are we talking about the? I'm sorry.
We're talking about the veto
my
competition.
Wi-Fi dipped out for a minute. That veto. This season, they are torturing these people. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. This season, they are not playing around with these people. Y'all started when you put that girl in a robot. And now y'all got these snakes. Nicole made her return to this season. She's back. Y'all got the snakes. Y'all are shocking these people with electricity. Like, that is just that. Wow. Okay, listen. If I was in that competition, we would have had a problem. Okay. A big old problem, because I don't do snakes. I don't do electric shock. I don't do that nasty stuff they had to drink. So I could have done the little ice bath, but I would have been unpleasant during that. I can promise you that. So it just would have been a whole situation for me. Count me out.
I just can't believe they were, like, mad that Sam was, like, pissed off during that. And apparently she, like, cussed out, like, other house guests in production. Like, they put a shock collar on her. A shock collar. I would also be yelling at people, like, sorry she didn't keep her cool while she's also sequestered in a, like, cubicle with a webcam all week at the same time. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that competition was pretty brutal. Like you guys mentioned, Sam actually during the competition, and I believe she starts cursing at production, like she just kind of lost it, which I think is a little understandable. Like, going into the competition, I was thinking, oh, how could someone, like, do that? But now I understand it a little bit. Do you?
Oh, definitely.
I will snap you like a rattlesnake.
Yeah, so like we said, Fessy ends up winning it. He decides eventually not to use it, but so the nominees going into the eviction are Sam and Steve, and we also get the news on the App Store has opened. So we have someone getting a reward and someone getting a punishment. And I want to ask Ryan, what happened with the App Store?
I think Fessy got what he deserved. And I was very happy that Sam's power played out the way it did, because it gave us a fun week and it made Steve go home, and she didn't even have to use it. So I think I'm kind of liking the App Store so far. Well, I'm sure I'll change my mind as soon as this week happens, but we'll see.
Yeah.
What about you, Jason?
Okay. This is another thing I'm gonna just go off on for a minute, because that Amazon stuff, that ain't it. Okay, I would have been vomiting. I would have been vomiting from the very beginning. Could I have at least, like, made a sandwich with that? I want to know, because I hope so, because that, just having to eat ham from a tray, that ain't it.
Yeah, I think you were allowed to cook with it. Like, he was kind of putting it over a stove. Like, I think you were allowed to do some things with it. The rule I wasn't sure of was he like a have-not? Was that all he was allowed to eat, or was what do you think?
I think it was just that he had to eat that before he could do anything else.
All right. So, like we said, he gets this punishment. It's called the Hemazon. He gets deliveries of this. Because he is a Muslim, he is allowed to have it in vegan. It's vegan ham is dropped off. He has to consume the entire plate before he can move on. And we also get someone who gets the positive, the good app. And who got it, Jason?
Sam, my queen. I'm very happy about it. I would have totally voted for her had I known how to vote, because, they're doing the vote all weird this season. And also, the day that the voting closed, I didn't wake up until like 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, like, the voting closed before I could even vote. But I definitely would have voted for Samantha. I can promise you of that.
So, like you guys mentioned, this twist ends up playing a big part in saving her this week. And I have a question that I want to pose to both of you, and I want your opinions on it. And here's the question. Does Sam survive if she doesn't get this twist?
Absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
There's no way.
No.
I'm going to agree with you guys that I think this was a bad spot. It's because of the twist, and I think Tyler wanted someone to go home a little bit. He was starting to get a little bit closer with Sam, and he wanted to kind of draw her in. So I think Tyler, of all people, is pretty good heading into these next couple of weeks. Do you guys agree?
Do you want me
That's
to take it, Jason?
Yeah.
I loved Tyler's play this week in terms of what he was able to accomplish and the entertainment it provided me. And I think he's clearly very good at the game, but I think this is a case of too hard, too fast. And I just can't imagine this sustaining. And I know we said it about Paul, said it about Derek, but like this cast is messy, but they're also like playing hard while being messy. 16, 19, you don't have people that are like scurrying around trying to figure stuff out for themselves. This cast, I don't think they're going to let it slide too long, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got exposed by the end of the week.
What about you, Jason?
I completely agree. I think that Caitlyn has a big mouth, and I think that when she starts talking to this person and that person and that person and putting stuff together, it might not go very well for him.
All right. So looking ahead, like we mentioned, we bring us to a little bit more to the current time. We have Caitlyn as the HOH. I want to ask you guys, who do you think are two people? Who do you think are the two people in the best position leaving week one and now going into week two? I'm going to throw this to Jason first.
Okay. Well, up until about an hour ago, I would have definitely said Scotty was in a very good position. He's kind of put himself kind of in the middle to where he can be either with this side or with that side. And that's a good spot to be in the early weeks of this game. So I would have said Scotty, but, his ride or die just got evicted, so he might be a little mad. But, yeah, him, and I would say maybe Casey.
All right. What about you, Ryan?
I'm going to still say Scotty for sure. I don't think anyone's coming after him. And I think I was reading like some updates very quickly, and I think it was like Haley thinking that maybe Scotty flips, but like obviously Caitlyn's not going to target Scotty for that, but because she knows, but who knows? Maybe she will. She's insane. And I also feel like going into this week, I still say Tyler's in a pretty good position, especially with Caitlyn as the HOH. Like, I don't think it'll blow up in his face, but it could. But I still think for now he's in a good spot.
I'm going to agree with you. I do think Tyler is in a pretty solid spot. I think he is still a little bit good with Caitlyn. I'm also going to split my last spot between the top two. I'm going to say Haley, I think, is also in a pretty good spot. I think she's kind of like right in the middle of her alliance. And on the other side is the other person. I'm going to say it's Casey. Both these girls are kind of in the same spot of their alliances. They're not at the bottom, but they're not at the top. So I feel like if they're going to be looking at someone in these alliances to maybe drop, they are not going to be them. And that, I think, is a pretty solid spot to be in. Do you guys agree? Brian?
Yeah, I agree it's a good spot. I don't know that Haley's in that spot, though. And I only say that because Caitlyn is the HOH, and that genuinely worries me for Haley, because I think, what if Caitlyn snaps and she's like, oh, I'm just going to put up Faisal, or Fessel, Fessy, whatever he is, and Haley. Because... Hey, who was it? Caitlyn looked right at Tyler earlier, and she was like, hey, I made a final two with Caitlyn, or with Haley, but I'm going to break that right now and make one with you. And, like, what if she just snaps and puts her on the block for that, like, showman's dilemma that she's in?
Jason, do you think that would be a good move?
To put Fessel and Haley up? Is that what you're asking?
Did you cut out? I think I was asking, would that be a good move of Caitlyn to put up and Haley and Fessy?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't think so at all. I think that if she's smart, she needs to go after the other side of the house. Like, if she's smart, she uses this HOH as leverage to kind of win back Swaggy, Bailey, the people in her alliance. That way, moving forward, they can get out somebody from the other side of the house, have the numbers for next week, and kind of be more cohesive as a unit. And also, I wanted to go back to when you were asking who's kind of in the best position. I thought of somebody else who we did not expect going into this season. But I think Rockstar is in a really good position as well because I just don't think she's on anybody's radar. And it's really refreshing because she's cracked as hell. And I really enjoy watching her.
I don't think she's as cracked.
Unfortunately, she's very much on the Fox News Alliance radar. And Brett and Winston are coming hard for Angie right now. So if they get power, I think she should be nervous.
All right, so let's take this going forward. In your opinion, Caitlyn is our HOH. I'm going to throw this to Jason first. What is the best play to put Caitlyn in the best position going into eventually week 3?
Oh, there's a couple of different. I want to throw it to Ryan first. What do you think?
I just think someone tweeted, and I wish I had liked it or something so I knew who it was, but they were like, wow, Caitlyn just turned on the alliance she created. So, if she just doesn't do that, I guess it's a step up in terms of her game this week, but I don't know, stop talking, stop flipping on your alliance, stop doing what you're doing.
It wasn't in the crystals, Ryan.
She manifested it right to the HOH room.
You're giving her a bad aura.
She needs to let everybody this week kind of come to her and make deals with her. So that way, going into the coming weeks, she's kind of built up a rapport with some of the other house guests who she hadn't really talked to in week 1. And maybe it could work out well for her.
I will say, thinking about it this week kind of gives me shades of Ronnie, Big Brother 11. After he flipped on that Shima Braden vote and then won HOH. And we know how it worked out for Ronnie in terms of the next 2 weeks.
He won.
But I think by Caitlyn winning HOH, she really has backed herself into an uncontrollable position. She just can't win from this.
All right, so let's before we go forward, let's again take this back a little bit. Over the course of this week, we get the formation of 2 alliances. We get level 6, which consists of Tyler, Angela, Rachel, Brett, Winston, and Casey. And we also get the side, which is the Sacred 6. It started out as Faute. It eventually pulls in Bailey, and they create the Sacred 6. It is Swaggy C, Bailey, Bessie, Haley, Rockstar, and Caitlyn, and unfortunately that alliance is short-lived because Caitlyn, like we mentioned, has turned on it, which also, just to mention, leaves JC and Scotty in the middle. What do you think about these 2 alliances and the people in the middle? Who is at most risk here? Ryan.
In terms of Caitlyn as HOH or in general?
In general.
In general, the people that are loudest on both sides. When you have people like Brett and Winston on one side versus Swaggy on the other. Obviously, those are the 2 most common targets. For Caitlyn, who the hell knows? It's honestly, we could throw a dart at a dartboard and have as much accuracy as we could predicting this right now.
Jason, I'm going to ask you, what is your prediction? Where is this going to go?
Honest to God, I really don't know. She, for all we know, she could pull a 180 and be like, okay, well, I got out Steve, but now let's get this bitch Sam out because she's doing this, and that too. You never know.
I was just thinking, what if she does target Sam this week?
That's gonna be so frustrating.
I don't think that would be that bad of a move for her because she now knows about this twist. Maybe she could try to flush it, and that could kind of let her slink back into the shadows once it's over. I mean, it is a logical play. It's something I might, even though I do enjoy Sam and I would feel bad, it's something you do have to consider because this news is going to spread of what happened with her power and what she has. It's going to spread quickly. And I think it might be a good idea to maybe go for her. Do you agree, Ryan?
In terms of the game, yes, I do. In terms of what Caitlyn knows about the game and what Caitlyn thinks about the game, in her world, she's manifested this idea that Sam's power is like all wielding and it's gonna be like some superpower, and I just don't think she would ever make that move because she is too scared of that power.
What about you, Jason? What do you think?
I don't know. It's hard because I feel like if anybody else won this HOH except for Kaitlyn, we would be able to be like, okay, well, the logical thing for them to do is this. The thing they're probably going to do is this. But it's Kaitlyn, and you just don't know.
Like Ryan said earlier, this is giving me shades of Ronnie and also of Devin. Like this could go anywhere. This could a bomb could go off, and who knows where it's going to land on. But I guess we're going to kind of move on. You guys touched on this person before. Let's go over her week. It is Sam. She has a bit of a rough week. It has highs. It has lows.
A bit. It has lows. It has lows. It has one high and then some more lows.
All right, so just to give an overview, she is a nominee. She is a robot, but thankfully she does get this power that she chooses to get an extra life in the house, which we got some more information about. It is she would compete, if she was evicted, she would compete on the spot in a competition to earn her way back in, which from what I'm hearing is probably going to be something like a gimme. It's just a more drama moment. I feel like she would definitely get back in. So I want to ask you, Jason, what do you think about this week that Sam went through?
I'm going to need CBS to never do this again to anybody. I don't care if Devin comes back in that house. I don't care if you put Zach Rance or Frankie Grande in that house. Nobody deserves that.
They do.
Nobody. All right, maybe they do. But you know what? It's wrong. It is wrong. Not only have you put this girl in a robot outfit, which is like putting her at a complete disadvantage for week 1. You have put her on the block. You have made her handle snakes. You have made her take an ice bath. You have shocked her with an electric collar. This is unacceptable, and I'm not going to stand for it anymore. Y'all better give that. I'm glad y'all gave that girl something for the pain that she had to go through, because if they hadn't, I would be saying they need to give her financial compensation for emotional trauma.
I have this question for Ryan about Sam. She survives. She gets 6 votes, but she gets 7, the majority. Where does she go from here? What is her play, and what do you think is the smartest move for her to do at this point?
I think she's in a good spot. I really do. In the majority of Big Brother seasons, it seems like that week 1 target that survives the block normally ends up making it pretty deep into the game. And I think that Sam's biggest advantage is that she wasn't actually like a target per se. Like obviously she was the target of most of the people in the house for like the block, but she wasn't like, oh, we got to get a big competitor out. It was like, here are like these 2 floaters that we're just going to throw up on the block for the first week. Which one's going to go? But people aren't coming after her. And so I think Sam's biggest advantage right now is she's viewed as this kind of like lovable, super loyal, honest, just like a little dumb character. Like, I don't think she's dumb, but that's what the house views her as. And I think she can use that in terms of people wanting to use her and keep her around.
What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think that her best move going into week 2 would just be to sit there and don't do anything. Eat some chips, eat some, drink some water. Just sit there and be seen and not heard, because the more quiet that she is, the more all these other loudmouths are going to start creating targets for themselves, and her target is just going to get smaller and smaller.
I feel like her, along with JC and Scotty, are kind of in this middle position that like is apart from all the alliances. She does have this bond with Tyler now, which I think is very smart. I think it's a good bond. I think viewers are going to want to rally behind these 2. I think Tyler's in a very good position to get an app from the positive app from the App Store. I think though there's potential that the level 6 alliance might say, all right, we're going to scoop her up. We're going to make it level 7. And if she's offered that position, do you think she should take it, Ryan?
I mean, you can't deny an alliance when you're offered it in the Big Brother house. Like, you can't pull a Winston and Brett and be like, no, we're okay. Like she has to say yes because I feel like it might happen, but I don't think she necessarily has to contribute. Like she'll be on the bottom of the alliance, so she'll be safe there, and then the other side isn't going to come for her anyway. So I think she needs to keep channeling her inner June, stay in that kitchen, make everyone some food, and just sit there and have fun.
What about you, Jason? What do you think?
I think it is time for the Summer of Sam.
All right. I think, in my opinion, I'm going to say something that she should probably do, which is spend a lot of time with JC. I think that is an ally who seems very open to working with her. And I think that just making that bond a little bit stronger, maybe proposing a final two or something. He seems to like her a lot. But Ryan is shaking his head. Why is that not a good play?
Definitely like make a bond with JC, but I would never propose serious game talk with him at all. That's like going to Caitlyn and asking for a final two. Like it's not.
I think though she is now pretty connected. She has a bond with the level 6 alliance, specifically with Tyler. She has a connection with JC. Not so much with the other side, but I think she's now like pretty positioned to go deep in this game. Do you agree, Jason?
I do. I definitely think so. If she just like can lay low until jury, like I feel like she has the potential to go deep in this game. Also, I had another thing that I just thought about that I just really feel the nerve to say right at this moment. The thing that is most happiest about Steve leaving the house this evening is definitely the bathtub. I just wanted to put that out there before I forget it. We can continue with the discussion we were currently having. I just felt the need to say that.
As a bath aficionado.
The bathtub is safe. The bathtub isn't a place where Steve can't hurt it. But I guess the other big thing that I want to touch on this week is we get this kind of like reverse trio between Caitlyn, Fessy, and Haley. It's like a dysfunctional. Something's going on there. I want to ask you, Jason. What's going on between those three?
Listen, that is like the love triangle, but like all of the points don't connect. You know, like Haley is so unbothered by this at this point. She wants nothing to do with any type of showmance at all. She's just like, nah, I want $500,000 and then we can talk. And Caitlyn is just like, well, guess I'm getting into a showmance. Boyfriend who? Don't know her. Like, and Fessy's just like, he is so oblivious to the fact that like Haley does not want you. Caitlyn does want you. It's a damn mess is what it is. It's a mess. Messy Fessy. Here we go.
Is it true that Caitlyn is actually in a 5-year relationship? Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she was.
Yeah. you never know with these kind of things. I mean, Janelle, I think, broke up with her boyfriend like live during her season, right? Am I remembering
like
correctly?
in the diary room, she looked at the camera,
and she said like, "It's okay if you never speak to me again." Like maybe, maybe she's Caitlyn's next Janelle. What do you think of Ryan?
Think of Caitlyn as the next Janelle?
No, as the trio, and what's going on between those three?
You cut out. Sorry.
So I think that Haley's giving me. Well, Sam is giving me like June vibes. Haley's giving me those Allison Irwin vibes of like she will collect every single man, castrate them, and take their jury vote. Like she is not scared to do what she has to do, and I hope that she is able to use that and go forward with it. She's not gonna stick with Fessy. Like she's gonna use him when she needs him, and then she's gonna discard him, and she's gonna make it further than him. Caitlyn is crazy. I don't think Caitlyn craves Fessy as much as she just craves literally anyone's attention at all.
Caitlyn is giving me Gina Marie vibes.
Caitlyn, sweetie, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Except that she's not a racist.
And I think that Fessy is like truly terrible. I hate that he's in the house. I just feel like he's not entertaining. He's just like making things difficult and uncomfortable for Haley, but not in like a fun way, like in an uncomfortable way to watch. And I just don't want to see Haley's game derailed because like he can't get what he wants.
The thing is, watching this, I just can't shake the feeling that I feel like Haley's destined to go deep into this game. I don't know why. I just feel like she's one of those contestants that's still a little bit under the radar. Aside for the drama, she would probably be unseen this entire episode. I just feel like no one's really going for her that hard, unless, except for maybe Kaitlyn. I feel like if she could survive this week and Kaitlyn doesn't go all turns on her, I just think that she's in a pretty solid spot. Do you agree, Jason?
Yes, I do. If she can make it out of this week and just kind of, I guess, like reposition herself in that place of like, oh, I'm just the quiet girl from Texas, then I think she'll be fine.
What about you, Ryan? Do you think she's in a good spot?
I get worried that she will get caught in terms of playing the guys. Like, I get worried that the guys will get offended that she would kind of, go around and play them. And honestly, with these type of egomaniacs in the house, if that does happen, I think that she becomes target number one pretty quick.
Ooh. But on that note, I guess we're going to kind of pivot to another duo that I kind of want to touch on. It's the duo, the Bro Alliance. It's Brett and Winston. They are a part of Level 6. They kind of have this very strong bond. We saw it forming in the previous week. Now it seems to be a full-fledged, like they are very close to each other. What do you think is their play going into this week, Jason?
All right, I think we've touched on them. Next. No. I don't... Brett is so insufferable. I'm sorry. He is so insufferable. I literally, anytime he talks, I have to mute whatever he's talking on.
You think that Brett is the insufferable one?
Yes. If he says bro one more time, take a shot every time he says bro, you'll be dead in 10 minutes.
I feel like Brett has been far less problematic and far less irritating than Winston.
They're both trash. Next.
I'm gonna side with Ryan. I think that Brett is a little bit more aware that he's like a bro and he's kind of playing it up. I feel like he's like a little bit in on the joke a little bit. He knows that is his character, that he is here on the game to play. And Winston, I think, is more entertaining of the two because he's just so messy and he's just so erratic. I think Brett is better positioned, but Winston is more entertaining. Do you kind of agree with that assessment, Ryan?
Yeah, I think I do agree, but I also think like Brett is kind of not to the degree that I thought Winston would be in terms of like a good player, but I think Brett's pretty good socially. So Brett's kind of what I thought Winston would be, and Winston is what I thought Brett would be going into the season.
What about
I hate
you?
both of them, so I'm not a fan of either of them. I'm not even coming at it from a game perspective. I'm sure they're going to be like third and fourth place. It is what it is. I don't like either of them.
I had a question written down. It was, who do you think should win HOH for Team Good Feeds or Chaos? And I guess we got the answer to that because we got the best answer right there, I think, with Kaitlyn. But the next contestant, and the next house guest I kind of want to touch on is Swaggy C. Swaggy C has had a bit of a big week. He is kind of seen as the leader, and he is very vocal about that fact. He is the head of this Sacred Six Alliance, and his gameplay, it's very messy, and I think he's going to be in a bit of trouble should he survive this week, which I think he will. Do you think? What do you think about his position in the house, Ryan?
I'm very nervous about it. I know that Kaitlyn was like randomly pissed off at Swaggy earlier today, and who knows why? Who knows what he did? It's kind of funny to see like his erratic gameplay. And then if he was targeted by one of the people that he wasn't even like messing with in that erratic gameplay, like theoretically with what he's done, Kaitlyn should be one of the only people that isn't going after him. Yet I genuinely think that he is in trouble this week.
Did Kaitlyn flip in part because of Swaggy C's like overbearing like leadership of this alliance, or did she flip more because to kind of stick it to Fessy and Haley, or is it third option of Tyler just kind of working his magic? What do you think, Jason?
I think, truthfully, I don't even think she had like malicious intent behind it. I think Tyler just got inside her head.
Do you agree, Ryan?
I think the universe showed her what she needed to.
All right. So still on the topic of Swaggy. So the turncoat of his alliance, the Whitney, has turned on him. Should he be worried going into this week? And what do you think is his play for this week, Ryan?
Swaggy C's play?
Yeah.
It's so hard because I don't know how to give advice on how to handle Caitlyn.
If that isn't the quote for the episode, I don't know what is.
I don't know. Maybe just try and rebuild the original bonds you had. Like meditate with her. Make her think your aura is blue. That's the best thing you can do this week.
You can't change your aura. Once Caitlyn's decided, it's over. Like she gets to decide. What do you think?
Buy a new one. I don't know.
What do you think, Jason? What is his play for this week?
I mean that's about all he can do is just kind of go up there, give Caitlyn the attention that she wants, maybe distance yourself from Bailey a little bit because I think people are starting to be onto him about his showmance, and just pray to Jesus, and help to turn your aura blue.
All right. There's one contestant I kind of want to touch on before we move on to some of the other points for this week. It's Scotty. Scotty, he seemed like he was in a pretty solid position up until the eviction. He was kind of in the middle of this alliance. He had his ride or die Steve. And I hate to bring this up, but it was kind of the exact same position a little bit as Scott in OTT, where he had the alliance with Cornbread. But unlike that season, he didn't turn against Cornbread. And it didn't really matter. And he's now on the wrong side of this vote. Do you think Scotty is in a good position now, Jason?
I don't think he's in a bad position by any means. I still don't think anyone's really looking to target him, regardless of the fact that he did vote Sam out. Because, I don't think that he hid the fact that him and Steve kind of had a bond. But I don't think that makes him in a bad position or anything. I don't think that makes him look vulnerable or, this is going to be somebody easy to get out.
What about you, Ryan? What do you think about Scotty's position?
I don't think it matters, honestly. I feel like Steve going home doesn't help, but he's kind of in a spot where it's he has enough people that are not going after him that it doesn't matter at all.
All right. So this is the final question before we move on. I'm sorry about the too many questions for this side, but who do you think, this is a bit of a hard question to ask, but who do you think is setting themselves up the best for later, for going deep into the game? Who do you think has the most potential to maybe be sitting there at that final three? I know it's week one, but who do you think has the most potential? I'm going to go first while you guys maybe think about it. I'm going to say probably someone between Haley, Casey, and maybe Rockstar. I mean, those are just my picks, just very peripherally. What do you think, Jason?
I definitely think Casey would be somebody who has kind of positioned herself really well in the house. I also think Scotty, we have to put him in there. Maybe Sam, if she stays quiet.
What about you, Ryan?
I'm gonna go with Casey for now, but I genuinely this season just has so many erratic people that want to play hard and want to do wild things that I have a hard time saying they're gonna be sitting in final three.
Mm-hmm. And you have to think about it this way too. This time last year, we were like, "Ooh, 19's about to be the shit." We really thought that going into 19, we had it made, but what else? Every week is like this. It could be a very good season.
What I will say in contrast to that is looking when 19 happened, when this week one blindside flip, whatever you want to call it, that happened, it was very clearly Cody and Jessica versus everyone else. Mm-hmm. This season, there are two sides, and who knows which side Caitlyn's on. But there are two sides, and there's a lot of numbers on both of them. So I don't think you can, knock out, those couple of targets super quick and then just go on with, nothing else happening in the rest of the season.
Caitlyn is on the side of the crystals. That's what side she's on. She's on the side of whoever has the best aura that day. which is doesn't make her the best of allies, I think, in this house. I think she's got a little bit of erratic gameplay to her, which is entertaining for us, but I don't know so much for the people who want to work with her. But unless you guys have any final thoughts on the house guest, we're going to kind of move on to some of the other points I have.
Let's do it.
All right. So the best seasons of Big Brother, I feel, always have the following components to them. They have drama, they have strategy, they have back and forths, and they also have a Dan Gheesling figure, a Derek figure, a Will figure. I want to ask, who of this cast do you see potentially filling that role? Who do you think will potentially be that figure, the big player of the season?
Do you want to take it, Jason, or you want me?
Oh, it is so early to predict that. I mean, okay, if we look at it from like who is playing the best game right now, I feel like I keep harping on this and coming back to it, but I really feel like Scotty has set himself up in such a good position in the house so far. But it's so early to predict who's going to be like the legend of the season. Who thought that the legend last year was going to be like Josh? You know, who thought he was going to win?
Josh, no. What do you think, Ryan?
We got a crackhead here too.
He won though. Did he win?
I don't think he won. I think Paul lost, is what I say. I feel like anyone sitting next to Paul.
Oh my god, can we never talk about Paul or that little rat from OTT again? Anyway, I think that Tyler is the obvious answer, and I think he could be, but like I disagree when you say that the best seasons have that figure. Because other than like Dan or Will, who have like that like crazy top level strategy with the entertainment, the other seasons that you look at that like are 16, 19, Paul, Derek. Those are not fun seasons to watch. So I'm hoping that Tyler doesn't have the skills of Dan Gheesling. Well, if Tyler can be Dan Gheesling 2.0, that'll work. But you know, like I don't want one player to be like that.
All right. I think that's fair. Let's kind of move on to the controversial segment of this podcast, because we get over the course of the week we get some news over from TMZ. The people have been watching the feeds. Let's touch on the first incident. JC has been. I'm going to throw this over to you, Ryan. What was going on with JC this week?
He was sexually assaulting people with an ice cream scooper.
Yeah, that it was weird. What did you think about what happened, Jason?
Okay. We're going to dive into like the two really big controversies that have happened this week. And I want to preface everything by saying I am not the one to sit here in judgment of anybody. Like I am not going to, let's have the bash this person or bash that person hour. I don't think that is that's not going to accomplish anything. But what I will say is, damn well that you are on camera 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't understand in any situation where that would be appropriate in private. I don't understand in any situation where that would be appropriate on camera 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, when you know what's going on outside the house. You know the climate that we're in right now. There's no excuse for it.
I think there was a Reddit thread when the JC article popped up, and the top comment just said it all. It said it was only a matter of time, and I think that kind of sums up JC, because there's a lot of stuff that's been shared about JC, a lot of weird stuff that's been shared about JC, but at least what I could appreciate is that, or I don't know what you guys think about this. We got some news that Allison Grodner, the the executive producer of Big Brother, sat down with JC and the other two contestants we'll be talking about in a second, and she told them to lay off. Do you think this was she should say this because it could potentially interfere with the game, or do you think it was the right move of her to do? Jason,
I think that the last thing that they want to have is a repeat of season 15, where like you didn't directly sit down with these contestants and say like, all right, this is like what's going on, and it only got worse. Now, granted, in 15, when they had the racist controversy with Aaron and Gina Marie and that whole situation, they did start asking other contestants, do you feel like, they're kind of coming off as racist? And it was addressed by Amanda. But I feel like it is the correct decision to sit down, nip this in the bud. Let's move on from it. Because at the end of the day, these people still do have to come out of this house and face reality and face up to their actions. So they need to understand, y'all need to cut this shit out. Otherwise, it's just going to get worse for you.
What do you think, Ryan, about Alison Grodner stepping in to address these issues?
Yeah, I'm glad that she did. Because I feel like if you let time go by, then you get the argument of idiots coming and saying, that was long ago. Why are you still bringing that up? Just address it, tell them they're stupid, move on. And if they want to cry, if they want to complain, let them cry, let them complain. It's their fault. It's their own mistakes. It's their behavior, and they deserve to know what they're doing is stupid.
All right, so let's kind of move on to the other controversy. This was a lot of people were talking about this one. So Angela, Rachel, I think there were some other people sitting out with them. I don't remember. I think it was just the two of them were kind of having this conversation. They dropped some comments that were a little racist, they were racist. But what do you kind of think about also with Alison Grodner stepping in for these two as well? And what do you think about their games moving forward and all that stuff, Ryan?
This is an issue that is very separate from the game aspect of Big Brother. I don't think that most of I guess Tyler kind of alluded to it, but I'm not sure the extent that the house guests actually know about the talks they had with Grodner or what was said, whatever it was. And just in terms of an outside perspective, it was stupid. They're both stupid. Angela was really stupid. It was wrong. It was racist, and you shouldn't defend it. And that's adding all the people on Twitter trying to defend it. Even Jackie, who is friends with Rachel, is not trying to defend the stupid comments that Rachel made. And that is what you should do. Just let them know that they were stupid, they were wrong, and make them learn from it.
And another thing, too, is Rachel is friends with a past house guest. You have seen firsthand the type of scrutiny these people are under. And you know what's going on outside of this house. You know the political climate and that we are currently in. So I don't understand any justification of why you would think it is appropriate to say those things. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. And there is no justification for it. There is no reason why anybody should defend that. And they do need to face the repercussions of what they said.
I'm going to agree with the two of you. I was a big fan of Angela, but I can't defend her at this point. It's what she said was wrong. She's going to have to face her comments when she gets out of the house. At least Tyler is all I could say. But I guess we're going to kind of move on unless you guys have any other final thoughts you want to share on the matter.
It was really stupid. Really stupid.
Yeah, I thought they had known better. I wish they had known better because it's just such a stupid thing to say. And you should be aware a little bit that the cameras are on you and that everything is going to be broadcast. But that's just how it goes, I guess. So I guess we're going to kind of move on to just really quickly. We're going to switch to a bit of a lighthearted subject really quickly. We have a bit of an update for the draft. So like we mentioned, what an awkward time for Jason to cut out. Jason had both Sam and Steve on his team going into this week. He unfortunately has lost Steve, and the summer of Steve has come to a close, but he has picked up a new team member. Jason, who have you picked up?
I have picked up Fessel.
Oh, what's that? Did you just get an Amazon delivery?
I have picked up Fessel.
Amazon delivery.
Fessel has been picked up on my team.
The winner of Big Brother 20. No one picked him first, but Fessel. Can you imagine?
Did you get the 2-day shipping on Fessel?
Oh dear.
I hate you both. I really do.
Yeah, I think my team is, with some exceptions, I think we're pretty well positioned, though. My team, just to give a recap, it's Angie, it's Angela, it's Tyler, Oh God, I totally forgot who else is on my team. Swaggy C and Caitlin. No, I actually do remember. I think my team is a little bit well positioned. What about your team, Ryan? What do you think about your team's placements going into the next week?
In terms of like personal stances, I don't want to comment on my team anymore. Because I have 4 out of like the 6/7 Fox News Alliance.
Ryan will be wearing a red hat in these podcasts from now on.
Ryan will only be supporting his team of Haley.
Well, I've lost Angela, so I still have Tyler at least. But
my team stays unbothered.
Your team is like and pretty.
Your team just ain't gonna be here.
Yeah. This just goes to show. I feel like this just goes to show how wrong our like pre-show predictions can be. Like once they step in, anything can happen. It's just people are rooting for Brett. Like this is just it's a crazy world we live in. But I'm just looking through my notes. Do you guys have any final things you kind of want to touch on for this episode?
I just want like names of who's rooting for Brett.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I can't find anyone.
I see some people on Reddit. I mean, I do. What about
you? Do.
What about you?
Caitlin sees ghosts in the night. Let's move on.
All right. So, here's the last point. Here's another point I want to touch on. So, the App Store is going to be opening this week. We're going to get someone who's going to get a reward, someone who's going to be getting a punishment. I want to throw this. Let's talk about the topic of punishment because I feel like that's a little bit harder to predict. I'm going to throw this over to Jason first. Who do you think is going to be our least trending house guest of the week?
Scotty.
I'm going to disagree. I think it's going to maybe be Rockstar or Bailey. I don't know. It's a little hard to predict. What do you think, Ryan?
I'm worried for Rockstar. I'm not worried for Angela and Rachel, but I think they have a chance.
I don't think they're going to. I think the controversy is going to keep them. They're going to be talked about for bad things, but they're going to be talking.
I don't know. I don't feel like the general consensus, like, well, the thing is, have we looked at what the questions are? Because we should do that. Because that will say a lot more about, like, who will be answered for those questions.
I think the questions were like, who are you screaming at your television about? Who do you like the most?
Every week.
What? Oh, they change every week?
I think
it's gonna be like, who has pink hair? Who wears glasses?
Yeah, but the next thing, who do you think is going to get the reward? I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is going to be Tyler. I think people who are fans of Sam are going to push for Tyler, and also he's pretty prevalent in the show. But another person, also Swaggy C, maybe. Although I think his comment in the episode when the power was given out might have turned some people off. What do you think, Jason?
It's going to be your polarizing people. So Swaggy's going to be up there. Maybe Bailey as well could be in there. Tyler definitely I would look at. Yeah, I feel like those would be the 3 that are most likely at this point.
All right. What about you, Ryan? Who do you think?
I think that the only people that are going to get that top trending spot will be probably Tyler or Caitlin. Unless the questions are like not pertaining to that, but I don't know.
On the topic of these power apps, have you guys got any predictions for what some of these rewards might do? There's one, I think it's like level up or something. There's one which is the cloud. There's one I think that has something to do with the veto draw. And I want to ask you guys both, if you guys have seen what all these powers are, which do you think you might potentially go to pick of the remaining ones, not knowing for sure what they are? Ryan, what do you think?
Level up seems intriguing to me. Well, if only because I really have no idea what it could be, so it's kind of like the most open possibility. But something like identity theft is also appealing just because I feel pretty confident that's like stealing someone's vote. So probably level up.
I think it's actually power up. I'm just reading. I think it's power up. What about you, Jason? What do you think?
I have a feeling the cloud is probably going to be like a never not pass or something. So,
yeah. I feel like I would maybe go for identity theft or power up. I think the power up is probably going to be like a co-HOH kind of power where you get to, like decide one of the nominees. But I think they did it after the nominees, which is what's kind of confusing because that means like, what if you're not on the block and you get the power up? Like, there's already 2 people sitting on the block. Like, how is that going to work?
That's why I
Do
don't
you-
think it would be like they would do something like that.
So what else do you think it could potentially be?
I don't. The thing is, it has to be like a general power that someone can use in some capacity, or it could be something like Sam's power, how she can give that chance to have a bonus life to someone else. Maybe you can give that chance to like a nominee that's not you. You know.
What about you, Jason? What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely room for interpretation for all of them. And I also feel like when they open it, the rules could be just so vague that it could be interpreted many different ways. So it's definitely an intriguing twist, I think.
All right. So do you guys want to touch on the punishments? I haven't spent that much time looking at them. I feel like they're mostly just going to be Amazon kind of things where it's just like something not game affecting maybe, or maybe one of them is like a robot again. Who knows? What do you guys think about these punishments, Jason, if you've read about them? Or
I mean, you never know. Like last year, they made Ramses nominate himself, so like it I don't know. I just really stuttered there, like really bad. It was bad.
What about you, Ryan? What do you think?
I am hoping that the punishments are not as stupid as Ramses were. Like, I want them to stay like Fessy level of make them uncomfortable, but like punish them for being boring. Unless it's Rockstar, because then she just doesn't deserve it.
All right. So I guess unless you guys have any final thoughts, I guess we're going to kind of wrap this up. Are there any final things you kind of want to touch on in this entire week and moving forward in general? Ryan?
I'm trying to think. I just want Caitlyn to be as messy and insane as she's been so far. That shot of her after the vote was revealed, where she's like through arms. Oh my God! What an Oscar-winning legend.
What about you, Jason?
We want her to be as messy as possible. We also want her to make jury so she can make a messy jury vote.
I do have this question though, lingering of like what, because she told Haley that she was going to flip like before the feeds cut this morning. They were kind of talking and they said like Haley was saying, "Oh, I'll flip with you maybe if you want," and they kind of, I think in the end didn't go. They didn't agree. They didn't both do it. I don't know if it was just they agreed that like Caitlyn should be the only one to throw the hinky vote. I am though pretty solid. I think Haley will probably be safe. I think the most people at risk. Who knows who that could be, honestly. But unless you guys have any last minute things, I guess we're gonna wrap this up, right?
I think that's it.
All right. So I just want to say for all our viewers, my name is Adam Samuel. You could find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox. I run 2 websites, adamsoapbox.com and adamcvblog.com. I just released a personal story about me playing sports as a kid. I got very positive reviews. If you guys want to check it out, I think it's pretty funny. You might enjoy it. I also have another short story coming this month, hopefully sometime. And that's all I got. Jason, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Jason with 2 N's, Brown with 1 N, and on Twitter at _JasonBrown21. And yeah.
All right. What about you, Ryan?
I will be at Ryan Temple TBH, RyanTemple TBH on every single social media you can imagine.
All right, guys. So next time we meet, it'll be on Thursday. I'm also going to be live on Wednesday with Eric talking about the next week of America's Got Talent. And I think we're in for a really good week. I hope this is the Devin, the Ronnie Talbot week of Big Brother, this 20. I think it's going to be exciting. Hopefully it doesn't turn out to be a dud. Hopefully Caitlyn, she grabs her crystals and she sits with them on her lap as people come in and she just gives them like the look. But other than that, I just want to say thank you all for joining us. Like I said, we'll be back Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday, America's Got Talent. Thursday, Big Brother. I want to say to Jason and Ryan, thank you so much for joining me today. These are a lot of fun to do. And other than that, I want to say peace out, guys. Bye.
Good aura.
Bye.